Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-888-88-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Barry the boater. Captain Patrick and Mike the mariner rounding out the cruise. We navigate the latest boating news and information. All right, so here we are in Florida. That's where we're based out of for the World of Boating. And this week we have had our first storm of the season. Now, it ended up just being a big drenching, mostly for South Florida and the Keys, but yeah, it was just a lot of rain, right, Barry? You're down there. That's all you've gotten, right?
Yeah, they've had up to, I think, 14 or 15 inches in Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah.
So yeah,
some flooding. I've heard.
It was some flooding.
Yeah,
it wasn't
that is
as
not
bad as
insignificant.
well,
No,
it's
it
not. You are absolutely right, Mike. I mean, and actually, I've gotten some reports of some of the flooding down there, but it's not that bad. I haven't gotten any direct firsthand reports from the Florida Keys, because they might have got a little worse than what you got down there in South Florida, I think. Is that right, Barry, or do you know?
they got more of we had the big squall lines that would come up from the south.
Yeah.
It went through the Keys. It loses a little bit of a punch once it passes the Keys,
Right.
but it continued to bring just rolls and rolls of rain.
Right. But, you guys are used to the rain and that kind of thing. It's the wind that's the big issue, and the wind wasn't too bad on this storm.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I mean, I did field a lot of questions and got some reports this week from people that were starting to freak out, like, "Oh my God, it's hurricane season! We got a storm! We got to prepare!" Oh my God, and I mean, were you feeling any of that kind of anxiety with even though you knew it wasn't going to be that bad, or what?
Most people down here already know to prepare. I mean, you see it; it's in the news. They had the sales tax holiday through the state of Florida to start stocking up on supplies, and I think the biggest thing that hurts the most right now is the fuel prices. If you want to pack away some extra fuel, you look at it while the thing's spinning so fast.
Right.
Back in the old days, the old meters, and you're saying, "Oh, I hope there's a storm so I can use this," or you put it in your car in November.
Yeah, this probably wasn't the week to have to stock up on fuel because of a storm, unfortunately, for a lot of people.
Right.
But, on the good side, it wasn't a big deal. And maybe it'll act as a way to get everybody properly prepared, especially for their boat for the season, because you got to have this stuff ready to go, especially if you have a vessel, off the coast of Florida. We're at the very beginning. We already had a storm swing through the state, so go figure. It is what it is, and you just have to be prepared, right, Barry?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. You come up with an idea of the plans you want to do, and I did some of those plans for this storm. I lowered my antennas. I did some other things around the house to see how smoothly everything went, and it went really well. So I know that if there's a big one coming by, it won't take me that long to get things set up.
Well, like I said, it might be a little warm up to the season, and it might get people on there. Well, get people ready. And it's good that the first one wasn't a big deal, but maybe a lot of people stocked up and got ready, and they'll be ready if something, comes that's a little bit more forceful for the season. Now, fuel prices, hurting everybody, whether there's a storm or not. Don't have to be in Florida to benefit from that little incident that we're dealing with. And Mike the Mariner went out on Memorial Day. He posted something. I don't know if this was on the World of Boating Facebook page, Mike, but I got the picture of you said, blew $1,100 on fuel. I'm like, holy crap. Was that just from one day of cruising or the whole weekend?
No. We were gone 5 days.
Oh, okay.
And it was a couple of hundred miles up and back. But the thing was, I burned about 150 gallons on the trip. I had burned about 20 gallons before that, 27 gallons before I left. So really on the way back, I just decided to top it off and just have enough, because fuel prices are still rising. I paid $6.21 for diesel per gallon.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to go a little bit higher. So I just decided to go ahead and take the hit now. And now the boat's full, and the way I'm going to run it during hurricane season will be short trips, and I probably won't have to put fuel in it again until August or so. So
you know, you took on the masses and the inexperienced boaters that went out on Memorial Day weekend and rolled the dice and got through it, despite the fact that you had to blow that much in fuel. But what were the crowds like? I'm starting to wonder if the fuel prices are keeping boaters off the water. What do you think?
Well, they are. I was actually surprised at how few boats were on the river, the St. Johns River between here and almost Jacksonville, the whole weekend.
Yeah.
The two marinas that we went to a place called Renegades and then a place called Boathouse for the Blue Crab Festival. And in both places, they had several cancellations and slips available, and they never do on Memorial Weekend. They're usually booked up 6 months in advance.
Wow.
So, and, I think fuel prices certainly had something to do with that.
Played a factor. Yeah. This is all anecdotal. We don't know, but you put two and two together, you kind of wonder if there's going to be an effect. It's already in effect, possibly. We'll have to wait and see how things progress, but hopefully that isn't a sign of things to come. I want to see more people getting out on the water for the season, not less.
And there are ways that can be done too. There are some strategies you can employ to still enjoy your boat and burn less
sails?
fuel. Yeah, you can mount a sail on your ski boat.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's the first step.
You're gonna I think you'll drown your skier if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, no, I mean on the St. Johns, what do you got? About a 4-knot current running north. So just kind of go with the current and save some fuel there. And on the way back,
paddles.
Have sea tow.
Yeah.
And call in a breakdown, and you need to get towed back to your home port.
Oh, there's an idea.
And, for $150 a year, you're pretty well covered on getting towed back and don't have to burn that fuel. So that's a tip from Captain Barry.
Well,
okay. You just told thousands of people that tip, and there are 3 sea tow boats on this river.
Yeah, that's a Florida redneck tip.
You better call like a week in advance and say, I'm planning to break down at Silver Glen next Thursday.
Yeah. They're going to cancel my membership because of you.
Exactly. Cito is on the hotline already. They're
right.
Like, how dare you?
Just going to say, pride takes a back seat when diesel hits $10 a gallon.
Yeah. It is ugly. It is ugly. And unfortunately, it's probably going to get worse before it gets better.
But you know what? I want to, let's talk about something here real quick.
Yeah.
Because Mike is
filthy rich, so $1,100 is nothing to him.
No.
Well, no,
Not
it's not that Mike's filthy rich. Mike is very astute when it comes to boating and the type of boat that he upgraded to and things of that nature. But when you look at, let's say if you were planning on doing a weekend trip with your family and going out and driving to one of these places and getting a hotel for 2-3 days overnight, for what Mike spent in fuel is about probably what you would have wound up spending on, driving and hotels and all that stuff. And he's all self-contained, all in one.
Right. No,
Okay.
that's true.
All right. You can look at it that way.
You always say, Greg, you always say that cruising or not cruising, but when you go on those big cruise ships, that's the most economical way to go on a trip.
True. It can be. There's no doubt that they make it very appealing on the financial side of things. And taking your boat out still is cheaper than taking a family of 4 to Disney World or God knows where else.
I don't even want to know what Disney costs anymore. I'm so out
$175 a pop a day a person.
To have the privilege of standing in line.
That's right.
And still paying for food and drinks.
And an ice cream cone is how much?
And a place to stay.
$7.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
So,
like
when just because of our advocacy of boating, it's really not that Mike blew $1,100 on fuel.
We're all getting screwed, is what you're saying.
No, Mike is fortunate enough to where he was able to spend that money and go out and enjoy, a great weekend.
Yeah, if you're going to spend that kind of money, you might as well do what you love, spending time out on the water, and that's what it's all about. More coming up on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Even Keatley wasn't ready for me, or anything that followed. Chased by a police department, led by his ex-girlfriend, and hunted by brain fork-wielding Fijian assassins, it's everything he can do to keep from getting locked up, killed, or worse. Kava Screw is available as an ebook for $2.99 at Amazon.com. Kava Screw. Put a brain fork in him. He's done.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
We now return to Night Boat, the crime-solving boat.
Faster, Night Boat. We've got to catch those starfish poachers.
You don't have to yell, Michael. I'm all around you. Oh no, they're headed for land.
We'll never catch them now.
Incorrect. Look, a canal.
Oh, Night Boat, go!
Oh, every week there's a canal, or an inlet, or a fjord.
Quiet! I will not hear another word against the boat.
I was young, I was dry, but to sail I would go. 1 hour on the water, I was soaked down below. Though I tried, I couldn't hide from my mother's piercing view. But all she would say was, a big boy like you. Wet before, wet behind, we're the members of the Wet Pants Club.
Get a little pissed here.
Wet before, wet behind, we're the members of the Wet Pants Club.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the boater, Captain Patrick, Mike the mariner, rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information. All right, so Mike the mariner had a great Memorial Day weekend out on the water, even though it cost him $1 or $2. It's just hard to avoid that at this point in time. But it was worth it. It was an investment in your entertainment.
Sure. I mean,
right?
It didn't cost any more than any other type of vacation, quite frankly.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go.
Hotels,
the glass is half full, for sure.
Rental cars, whatever you're doing. And we didn't spend money on any of that stuff. So we bought food.
That's right. The worst thing that could happen is you just stay home and do nothing. And you got to do something. It just may cost a little bit more money right now. That's all. And it's probably not going away anytime soon. But, hey, it's well worth it. It's worth the effort, worth the financial investment.
Well, I can tell you on the manufacturing end, we have not seen a drop-off in orders. So, fuel, because most boaters realize there's going to be fluctuation. It's going to be up. It's going to be down. Mm-hmm. And the majority, I mean, it's a weekend getaway, whether they're staying in the marina or they're just going out to watch the sunset.
Yep.
They're not going out and burning through 500 gallons every weekend.
Yep,
they run their boat differently.
Yeah, They're just running offshore and then anchoring and turning the engines off and enjoying the view. and maybe that's why you got to kind of focus more on that kind of stuff. For sure.
Yeah, there are several things. There are several things you can do to still enjoy your boat and minimize your fuel prices.
I like it.
Fuel cost.
Yeah.
Like if you're on a river like this, like the St. Johns River, and typically you put your boat in Sanford and go to Silver Glen, which is probably a 27 or 8 mile run. Instead trailer it to Highway 44 and put in there and make your river run, half the distance and save all that fuel, and maybe even get to Silver Glen earlier and enjoy the water there longer. So,
absolutely. Barry the boater, what say you?
You bring a lot of people on board, hand them each a paddle, and tell them to start paddling.
Okay. I'm not boating with Barry anytime soon, but
you'll get stronger.
That's true.
Yeah, you look for those rowing clubs that really need to do their workout, and then just invite them over on a Saturday or Sunday. Said, "Here, guys, you can paddle me up the river."
It's Barry the boater with rowing with the 80s.
Well, Barry, you actually bring up something that when you talk about working out, it's putting your boat on a diet. Actually, going through your boat, no matter what the size, and looking for any gear that you've got on board that. Man, I didn't even realize that I had a 25-pound toolbox.
Hey, what? I don't have to take my mother-in-law? Are you kidding me?
Well, no, I'm just, we tend to collect stuff in our boats over a period of time, and there are things that we don't want to get rid of. Certainly our safety gear. But do I really, what? I had 5 anchors on this boat because the one time I went out and I was anchoring in such and such place and it was a heavy current and whatnot. Do I need to be carrying all 5 anchors at this point? No, you don't. So, go through your boat. You should be doing that a couple times a year anyway, and take a look at what gear you've got on board. What do you need? Or if you're going out for the day, what do you need for that trip? And don't take any extra stuff.
Put your boat on a diet. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled off cushions off they don't weigh much, but I pulled off cushions to save on cleaning if I knew I wasn't going to be sitting anywhere in those areas.
No, come on. That's just because when you take Greg out on your boat in case he decides to hurl.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
That green stuff comes out of his mouth. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, projectile.
It'll wash right off.
Ugh.
Yeah. But, get out there and boat. It's cheaper than all the other activities, like you said, in perspective, for sure. So it's still worth getting out there despite the fuel prices. What else do we got on the agenda this week? Patrick, you've been away for a while, so you're stocked up with a ton of boating stuff. Is that right?
No.
Oh, you have nothing? You
No.
got nothing. Okay.
No. Actually, following some stuff that Barry was sending back and forth, Barry, when it comes to maintaining your boat, no matter what size, a boat and a trailer, Barry is probably one of the most diligent people that I've ever come across in doing that, to the point where when he sends me stuff, it's like, why are you doing that? Well, because, and it's like, all right, you really, you pull it back a little bit, Barry.
Yeah, he's very anal when it comes to boating preparation.
I prefer diligent.
Okay. Well,
but Barry ran into some things, and the reason why I bring this up is not because Barry did anything wrong, but for somebody who takes such good care of their vessel and their trailer, there were some things that he encountered that I do believe, for a boat that's named Surprise, came as quite the surprise.
Right.
Really? Like what, Barry?
Well, I decided over the Memorial weekend to do a little work, get the boat all set up, because I knew it was boat safety week and all that. So I checked my fire extinguisher, which was built in 2008. And I remember there was a recall not too long ago about these fire extinguishers. After a certain amount of time, they said, just change them out. Maybe because they don't get hydroed or something like that.
They don't extinguish anymore. So you need to make sure.
I don't know,
Yeah.
But I went and purchased some gear. I got new flares because they were expiring this month, which they are. But then I decided to pull the boat out and start the engine because it had been sitting for a while. I got it outside. I hooked up the muffs. I checked everything out. I cranked it over. It started right up. I saw water come out of the little pee hole, and I knew that my water pump was working well. And I just let it run for half an hour. And then while I was doing that, I also checked the radio. A radio is supposed to be matched to the antenna, or actually the antenna is supposed to match the radio.
Yeah.
So what you do is you check the antenna with a special type of meter called an SWR meter, or in my case, I have an antenna analyzer. And I found that it was off a little bit. And I said, well, I'm going to fix this. Before I adjust the antenna, I need to replace some of these fittings that have decomposed over the years. And I sent Patrick those photos. And then the other thing that I decided to do is change the fuel water separator, and the mount that it was mounted on was really corroded. And I said, well, let's just do the whole thing.
So wait a minute. You sent Captain Patrick photos of your deteriorating connections?
Yeah.
You're not anal. You're crazy.
No, but the radio, you rely on the radio for your safety.
Right, but why are you sending these pictures to Patrick? What's he going to do?
Well,
Like, glad I'm not you, Barry.
Before and after, electrical parts are the things that you don't see unless you dig into your boat.
All right. Yeah.
You got to look at them.
He's diligent. Was that the word, Patrick?
That is the word.
Okay.
We've never broken down yet.
All right. We'll go with that. Mr. Barry the Boater Anal Guy.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 PSI left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Welcome aboard. I will be your captain. You'll be my scallywags. I don't know what that means, but you will be them. And here's how we play.
Thank you for your attention and welcome aboard.
Let's go.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Barry the Boater, Captain Patrick, Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information. All right, so Barry the Boater, properly prepared for boating season. He's went through his boat forwards and backwards, found a few little things that he had to tweak. But you're all you're 100% now, right?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Why? Well,
no.
What did you find that you didn't fix, Barry?
Well, I needed to put air in the tires. They're supposed to be set at 50 PSI, and they were down to 30.
Tires.
And my trailer tires, not the boat. The boat doesn't have tires.
Mm-hmm.
So I inflated them up, and everything was fine. And after I was done running the engine, I roll it back into the garage, get it all settled in, and I'm just buttoning things up. And then all of a sudden, I start hearing this loud hissing noise. Yes, exactly. Actual sound effect. And I look on both sides, and I see one side is beginning to get lower and lower. And I got out my floor jack, put it under the axle, and jacked it up. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at this tire, and I'm spinning it slowly, wondering what little hole I had. And it turned out where the whole tire just split.
Really?
Yeah. If this had been on the road, it would have been a catastrophic blowout. It would have really done some damage.
Yeah. So what, the tire just kind of rotted out on you think, from being in the garage too long?
Yeah. What? It's funny because usually you'll see tires rot out on the outside. The rubber kind of gets hard and you'll see cracks develop, sort of like, your skin.
Mm-hmm.
But because it sits in the garage, it didn't happen like that. What it did is because from what I've been reading, and I think Captain Patrick will tell me, what's right, what's wrong here, is that if you let the air out too much and it sits and starts to develop like a flat area, it causes the rubber to separate from the belts.
Mm-hmm. It gets a memory. in there.
It got something, yeah, but you saw the results. You could post it up on the website if you hadn't already.
What should have you done? Patrick, move his trailer around a little bit in the garage every few months?
No. What I have done in the past with trailers that I know are going to be used infrequently is jack them up and put them up on blocks.
Just take the pressure off the tires altogether.
Yeah, they're completely clear of the ground. If it's a trailer that I know is going to be an extremely long time, especially if I don't want anybody at the factory using it, I'll pull the tires off.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I can do that. I can put it up on jack stands. It's not a problem. I just really hadn't thought of it. And I was always wondering, I mean, the tires are 15 years old.
Wow.
So they're the
There you
same.
go.
Oh my God, you left that part out.
Well, you got your money's worth. I guess you look at it that way.
Jeez.
And I was able to buy the same exact brand again.
Yeah.
They weren't that expensive. And my neighbors could have them, bring them to a shop and have them installed with new valve stems. Always change out your valve stems. That's cheap insurance. And have them. Hey, do they balance? I noticed there's no weights on trailer tire. Why?
No.
Too small.
The only ones that I've ever have balanced have been the big the 54-foot long Hostar hydraulic water launch trailers that I used to use, and those each tire had its own independent suspension. Those on occasion would be balanced, but trailer tires as a whole, no.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't bother with that then.
Probably not. Mike, what do you think?
No, probably
All
not.
right.
No, but it brings up another point that should be considered, and that is, it's not just what the tread looks like that tells you what condition the tire's in. So if you are seasonal and you're doing your inspections and getting your boat ready for the season, just like Barry was doing, it's not just how deep the tread is, it's the condition of the sidewalls. You need to really look at those tires to make sure that they're not dry rotted. And if they're 15 years old, you might want to consider going ahead and spraying for another set.
Might assume they are dry rotted.
Yeah, I probably would have done that as a matter of course at probably at least the 7-year mark.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah, I've started researching that, and DOT has certain rules for professional trucks. And
they do.
After a certain number of years, you just change them out.
Well, when was the last time you had your trailer out of the garage and were rolling it around a little bit there? Barry, do you have any idea?
Last year, I took it out last year, but I haven't had a chance. I want to get the boat out this year and actually use it instead of just staring at it. So that's what I was trying to do. But in the meantime, while I was underneath there, and luckily I was able to get the wheels off because I put a stuff called anti-seize on all the bolts. Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't put anti-seize on, you try to get these things off, you'll end up sharing the bolts. But
a little lube.
A little lube, absolutely. All my cross members I had rebuilt a number of years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. You know, the whole trailer, the brackets, everything. I went up to the trailer place, and I think somewhere, not Port St. Lucie, but somewhere up in Jupiter or that area. And I bought all the parts, and I was able to rebuild the trailer, and everything looked great. But there's one area that had rust. It's a cross member that holds the bunks. And when I got underneath there, I kind of tapped it with a hammer, and about a 1/16 of an inch of metal just fell off. And I go, ooh, that's not good.
No, that never is good.
It's a good thing your boat only weighs like 50 pounds.
Yeah, right. You know, so I have to decide whether there's enough meat left on there to do anything with it, or should I don't know. It's you know, the trailer is
I already know what direction you're going to go in.
Yeah, I'd rather replace the cross member.
Yeah.
It's an easy loader trailer, and I have to get in touch with them. And I've looked in their catalog. It doesn't look like they make this particular part. So I've got to somehow either bring it up to them, which with the boat attached to it.
Well, if you've got the serial number, the VIN.
Yes, I do.
For the trailer, they should be able to go back in their records. It's not that old that they probably don't have their CAD drawings and would be able to fabricate the part that you need. Just because it's not in the catalog doesn't mean it's not available.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to have to give them a call and see if they can do that for me. And I know it ain't going to be cheap, but
well, I mean, is it just a metal bar that goes across, kind of thing?
Well, okay,
it's just not a metal bar.
No, a trailer has 2 rails on each side.
Right.
Then you have cross members that attach those 2 rails.
Mm-hmm.
Every, 3 cross members out of the 4, I think, that are on there, not including the axle, have these stubs that stick up from there, and they attach to the bunks that hold the boat in place.
Right.
So they're not just holding the side rails in place, they're holding the boat bunks in place, which hold the boat. So if you got rid of that whole section there, now you have nothing holding the middle of the boat.
Come on, Barry. Just do a Florida man fix to it.
Yeah.
Get some U-bolts.
Right.
And a 4x4.
Yep.
You can do this like in a kinetics type game.
I was at West Marine looking for any kind of kit that you could bolt would be something like U-shaped. You would push it up in there and then have a mess of bolts go all the way across and tie it all down, fasten it together, to crush it all back into one piece. But I don't know if I want to do that.
Aluminum sheets and duct tape.
Yeah.
Well, what you can probably, if they don't make it anymore or can't make it, I'm talking about Easy Loader.
Yeah.
You can probably get the specifications on the metal and the dimensions, and if there's a curvature or whatever. But the one main thing is the exact type of metal, and you can probably have a local fab shop make that for you.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's possible. But again, the biggest problem is how do I do this with the boat on the trailer? And I've got an idea of how I would do it.
What, take it off the trailer?
Well, no. That would be the easy way to do it.
Yeah, that would be the first step.
Well, when I went to Easy Loader last time, they had this tank where I guess they would take the boat off and they would work on the trailer and then load it back on.
A giant balloon. Okay. I don't know where he's going with this, but we'll find out next on The World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Guys, we have a situation. I broke the bathroom.
How the heck did you manage to do that?
We ran out of TP, so I had to use my shirt.
Ew.
Well, long story short, turns out the pipes on the boat are not PVT compatible.
It can handle tidal waves that the stories talk about, and it can weather any storm. Come aboard, we're going out.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the Boater, Captain Patrick, and Mike the Mariner rounded out the crew. All right, so Barry found a problem with his trailer when he was doing a little maintenance or, upkeep over the Memorial Day weekend. Found out he had a flat tire or one that just wasn't going to work at all, just needed to replace it. And then he had these crossbars on his trailer that were not holding any weight anymore. So,
well, yeah, they may not hold any more weight. When you hit a piece of metal and chunks of it fall off, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. You didn't do the Barry test where you just got up on there and jumped up and down and see if that'd be one way to do it. But this technique to get the boat off the trailer so you could do some maintenance on the trailer, you said they suggested like a balloon, like one of those,
balloon?
Like one of those outdoor things they put in the on the lakes and you jump on it and the other person's on the other end of the balloon. They got that for your boat.
Have you been watching too many Disney movies again?
No, I've just been out at the lake watching the kids play on those jumperoo
Greg
type
thinks
things.
The boat will do a backflip off the trailer.
Exactly.
Right,
That'd be one. Is that the device you were talking about to get your boat off? You just kind of inflate a balloon under it and lift it off, or what?
No, I wasn't planning on taking the boat off the trailer because I really have no place to put it.
Okay, but you put a balloon to lift it up off the trailer, and then you can get access to those bars, or what were you just trying to describe then?
Well, what I was going to try to do is just jack up or put jacks underneath the bunks to take the weight off of that particular section and then take off that cross member.
Okay. Balloons be way more fun.
Yes, it would be. Inflatable bags. But if there's any other better ideas, I
just gave you one. What do you want from me?
Go bring me the balloons. Go find them.
Just go into Publix, your local grocery store, those big Mylar things. You might need several of them. But yeah.
Barry, you could probably just go to a local marina somewhere. They'll take the trailer off or take the boat off your trailer with the forklift, set it aside. You can go do the repairs and then just come back and put the boat on the trailer again.
Genius.
That's a thought that I had. And we'll see what happens if I have to do that. Or since I got that Easy Loader and they're still located up in the same area, I just looked them up. I could drive the whole thing up there.
Oh yeah, they'll love that.
Yeah.
Well, I would call them first to make an appointment.
Yeah, good luck. Because I never get calls at the factory about people that are like, "Hey, would it be okay if I came by the factory with my 1992, 320?" No, sir, you cannot come. Yeah, but I just want to show you guys something, sir. Really appreciate you wanting
these
to
wheels
show
are 15 years old.
But
no. That's where I went to get the parts last time, and they were very helpful.
Yeah,
sure, but you didn't show up with your boat on a trailer.
I know, but I want to make sure they get it, get everything right. I would ask them. I would drop names like Greg from World of Boating.
Oh, you're doomed.
Or Captain Patrick. Oh, that won't work. Or Mike. No.
Here's what you do, Barry.
What do I do?
Okay, how big's your driveway? Is it a 2-car driveway?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a strip of grass on the side?
Not really.
Oh,
okay.
Your HOA loves you.
Yeah, I was about to say, I have an HOA too. The boat has to stay in the garage.
Can't have a boat sitting in the yard without
for
a
24
trailer.
hours I could, but that's about it.
He has to keep his boat in the garage.
That's all you need.
He has no grass. Yeah.
So you offload the boat on your driveway, just gently.
What?
Yeah, how? How are you going to get it off? He's with
his boat weighs 50 pounds. It's plastic.
You back it up into the yard, and then you rev your engine up, disconnect it from the trailer, rev your engine up to about 3,500 RPM.
Oh, it's kind of like one of those magician tricks where you pull the dishes out from under the boat.
I have had to offload boats at a couple dealerships, small boats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not much smaller than Barry's, and literally on the foam blocks on the ground, slide them off the trailer, wind up on the ground, and then bring the customer's trailer in and then crank it up on the trailer. It is not that hard to do.
Huh. This really, I got this picture in my mind of Barry talking to his neighbors, like, here, hold my beer. And watch this.
I'm going to do a burnout.
Yeah.
Well, there was Triumph when they were in business. They had a great commercial where they towed a boat without a trailer down this dirt road, swung it around, splashed into the lake, and then they went.
Well, there's an idea for you.
It could work.
Knowing Barry the way that I do, you've probably got an anchor point set somewhere in your garage that you could secure the transom of the boat, run a couple lines, hook the boat and the trailer up to your tow vehicle, and then slowly move forward to where the boat eventually comes off of the trailer and winds up gently on the ground on top of some type of protection. So the boat's sitting in the driveway, your trailer's now free, and now you can go up to the trailer place and have them turn you around, because they're going to tell you, no, sir, we are not going to look at your 25-year-old trailer.
I will call them in advance.
Yeah.
It's much more entertaining to use my method, though.
Yeah.
Just pop the clutch and floor it.
Yeah, right.
Actually, Patrick's ideas, it would work with all those balloons. Just put the balloons under the trailer when you pull away, and it'll land, your boat will land gently on the balloons. Take the trailer off. They'll send you back home with no hope whatsoever. And then the trick will be, how do you get it back on there?
He says it's easy no, it's not easy to pull it up on the bunks.
Yeah, it is.
What do you do? Put Crisco on the bunks?
Well, that's
spray
one
silicone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Crisco would work too, probably. Though.
No, spray silicone, because that's what manufacturers have used in transferring boats from skids on the trailers to help facilitate
any kind of gooey lotion would work, wouldn't it?
Spray, silicone, spray, silicone.
Yes, I have silicone spray.
Yeah, this is a family show. We're not talking about
I use that on.
lotion.
Says who?
I use that on all my the rubber products. The silicone works good with them.
Okay.
Man, Greg.
Yeah, but and the other thing is the hubs. I noticed when I pulled the wheels off that some steel came off the back side of them.
Oh, that's not good.
So,
yeah.
Well, I'm going to look at them. They are oil bath hubs. Okay, they are not grease hubs. They actually have a
but
clear
metal
cover
came
on
off of them. Is that what you
Well,
said? Metal?
Yeah. You know, there's steel hubs, and then the back of it.
Yeah.
But here's the reason why we brought this up is, again, here is somebody, Barry, who is looks at very, very much so, and it doesn't take much or a very long amount of time, tires notwithstanding, because that's absolutely ridiculous. But the other, especially things like your fuel separator, the bracket there that you showed me. I mean, how quickly something like that, just in the environment you're in, even though you're in a garage, you're still in you're out on the coast area. There's salt water, certainly.
Humidity.
How quickly that surface corrosion can set in and then cause some real problems, not just from an aesthetic where you look at things and like it's got to be a certain way and it should look a certain way because I know then that everything's all right, but that in a very short amount of time, how quickly things like that can turn, and if you're not staying on top of it, how quickly it can get away from you and cause you some real problems.
If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. And, so when it sits, that's usually worse. All right, well, we're going to have to wrap it up with that for this week, and hopefully that'll help Barry and, how he deals with his boat. But at least he got it caught up to a certain extent.
Yep.
Maybe next week we'll get the update. Till then, remember, whether it's sail or motor,
life is better as a boater.
Safe boating, everyone.
Barnacle-bitten swab. World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.